Tragic accident this week at Disneyland. Bonnie Mavis Lear died Wednesday morning after falling from a moving golf cart in a backstage area.
Think Disneyland is all about fun and magic? Think again. Behind the cheerful songs and bright attractions, grisly disasters lurk in the shadows. From shocking ride breakdowns to chilling oversights, these 8 horrific incidents claimed multiple lives, proving the happiest place on Earth isn't always so. Buckle up as we reveal the real stories behind the park's most devastating tragedies. Once you know the truth, you might never see those smiling characters the same way again. Ready for goosebumps yet? Jose Martinez, It's a Small World Ride Breakdown, 2009. Jose Martinez, It's a Small World Ride Breakdown incident in 2009 is one of the most unsettling and unique cases in Disneyland's history. Unlike many of the accidents that involve high-speed thrill rides, this happened on one of the park's slowest and most iconic attractions. What started as a cheerful, nostalgic experience for Jose Martinez turned into a harrowing ordeal that highlighted the challenges faced by disabled guests in theme parks. Jose Martinez, a quadriplegic man, visited Disneyland with his wife in 2009. As part of their day, they decided to ride It's a Small World, a gentle boat ride known for its cheerful animatronics and the endlessly looping theme song. For Martinez, it was supposed to be a relaxing experience. However, things quickly went wrong when the ride broke down midway through their journey. When the ride malfunctioned, other passengers were evacuated without much trouble. However, Martinez found himself trapped. As a quadriplegic, he could not move on his own, and the boat he was in was stuck in an area of the ride that made it difficult for staff to assist him. For 40 agonizing minutes, Martinez remained confined in the boat, unable to escape. To make matters worse, the ride's infamous music continued to blare on repeat, only adding to the stress and humiliation of the situation. As time ticked on, Martinez began to experience a life-threatening medical condition called dysreflexia, a nervous system response that can occur in people with spinal cord injuries. His blood pressure began to rise dangerously, and he feared for his life as the situation dragged on. The emotional and physical toll of this incident left Martinez deeply shaken. He later described feeling extreme distress, humiliation, and discrimination during the ordeal. Following the incident, he filed a lawsuit against Disneyland, alleging that the park had failed to adequately prepare for emergencies involving disabled guests. The court ruled in Martinez's favor, awarding him $8,000 in damages. Although the financial compensation was modest, the case set a legal precedent, requiring Disney to warn guests with disabilities about the potential risks of ride breakdowns. Disneyland expressed disappointment with the ruling, but the incident shed light on the importance of inclusivity and preparedness when it comes to accommodating all guests, especially those with disabilities. For Martinez, the scars of that day ran much deeper than any monetary award could heal. Deborah Stone, America Sings, Tragic Fatality, 1974. The Jose Martinez, It's a Small World Ride Breakdown incident in 2009 is one of the most unsettling and unique cases in Disneyland's history. Unlike many of the accidents that involve high-speed thrill rides, this happened on one of the park's slowest and most iconic attractions. What started as a cheerful, nostalgic experience for Jose Martinez turned into a harrowing ordeal that highlighted the challenges faced by disabled guests in theme parks. Jose Martinez, a quadriplegic man, visited Disneyland with his wife in 2009. As part of their day, they decided to ride It's a Small World, a gentle boat ride known for its cheerful animatronics and the endlessly looping theme song. For Martinez, it was supposed to be a relaxing experience. However, things quickly went wrong when the ride broke down midway through their journey. When the ride malfunctioned, other passengers were evacuated without much trouble. However, Martinez found himself trapped. As a quadriplegic, he could not move on his own, and the boat he was in was stuck in an area of the ride that made it difficult for staff to assist him. For 40 agonizing minutes, Martinez remained confined in the boat, unable to escape. To make matters worse, the ride's infamous music continued to blare on repeat, only adding to the stress and humiliation of the situation. As time ticked on, Martinez began to experience a life-threatening medical condition called dysreflexia, a nervous system response that can occur in people with spinal cord injuries. His blood pressure began to rise dangerously, and he feared for his life as the situation dragged on. The emotional and physical toll of this incident left Martinez deeply shaken. He later described feeling extreme distress, humiliation, and discrimination during the ordeal. Following the incident, he filed a lawsuit against Disneyland, alleging that the park had failed to adequately prepare for emergencies involving disabled guests. The court ruled in Martinez's favor, awarding him $8,000 in damages. Although the financial compensation was modest, the case set a legal precedent, requiring Disney to warn guests with disabilities about the potential risks of ride breakdowns. Disneyland expressed disappointment with the ruling, but the incident shed light on the importance of inclusivity and preparedness when it comes to accommodating all guests, especially those with disabilities. For Martinez, the scars of that day ran much deeper than any monetary award could heal. The It's a Small World breakdown may not have been the most catastrophic event in Disneyland's history, but it serves as a powerful reminder of the need for empathy, accessibility, and safety for all visitors. Nayeli Diana Placentia, Stray Bullet Incident, 1990. The tragic incident involving Nayeli Diana Placentia in 1990 is one of the most shocking and unusual accidents in Disneyland's history. What makes this story so unsettling is that it wasn't caused by a ride malfunction or a guest's negligence. It was the result of a stray bullet, a danger from outside the park that no one could have anticipated. It was February 12, 1990, and 8-year-old Nayeli Diana Placentia was enjoying a magical day at Disneyland with her family. Like many children, she was thrilled to experience the rides and attractions of the happiest place on Earth. That day, she was riding the Disneyland Railroad, which offers a scenic journey around the park, passing through Fantasyland, Tomorrowland, and more. Nayeli was smiling and laughing, with no idea that her magical day was about to take a terrifying turn. As the train made its way through the Fantasyland section of the park, Nayeli suddenly felt a sharp pain in her back. At first, she didn't realize what had happened. She only knew that something was wrong. She complained to her parents about the pain, and they quickly sought medical attention. What no one knew at the time was that Nayeli had been struck by a stray bullet. Investigators later determined that the bullet was fired from outside the park, likely from a nearby neighborhood. In some areas around Disneyland, it was not uncommon for locals to fire guns into the air, often as part of celebrations or careless behavior. Unfortunately, these stray bullets could travel long distances, posing an unseen threat. In Nayeli's case, a medium-caliber bullet had traveled far enough to strike her lower back while she was on the train. Nayeli was rushed to the hospital, where surgeons successfully removed the bullet. Thankfully, she made a full recovery. The incident was classified as a freak accident, with no evidence pointing to an intentional shooting. Disneyland, recognizing the unforeseeable nature of the tragedy, graciously offered to cover Nayeli's medical expenses. Despite the park's quick response, the incident left many shaken, as it showed how even the most magical places were not immune to the dangers of the outside world. Following the incident, Disneyland did not close any rides or change park operations, as the accident was beyond their control. However, the stray bullet incident served as a stark reminder that real-world dangers could intrude on even the most carefully crafted environments of joy and wonder. While Nayeli's story had a happy ending with her recovery, it remains a chilling example of how unexpected and uncontrollable events can disrupt even the safest and happiest of places. Mark Maples, first Disneyland death on the Matterhorn, 1964. Mark Maples, a 15-year-old boy, holds the tragic distinction of being the first person to die at Disneyland. His death, which occurred on the Matterhorn bobsleds in 1964, shattered the park's reputation for being an entirely safe and magical place. What was supposed to be a night of fun and celebration on his school's grad night turned into a heartbreaking tragedy that left a lasting mark on Disneyland's history. Mark was enjoying the evening with his friends and girlfriend, riding the park's attractions, and making the most of his newfound freedom after being grounded for weeks. The Matterhorn bobsleds, Disneyland's first roller coaster and a thrilling centerpiece of the park, was a ride he couldn't wait to experience. The attraction, modeled after the Swiss Alps, was an exciting combination of dark tunnels, sharp turns, and steep drops, giving riders the sensation of a high-speed toboggan run. Mark and his friends boarded the ride late at night, their anticipation growing as the bobsled ascended the mountain. But as the ride reached its peak and began its descent, something went horribly wrong. Witnesses reported seeing Mark stand up in the bobsled, possibly trying to impress his girlfriend or acting on a dare. In a tragic instant, he lost his balance and fell from the moving ride, landing on the tracks below. The ride attendants and emergency responders rushed to help, but Mark had suffered severe injuries, including a fractured skull and broken ribs. He was rushed to the hospital but died 3 days later without ever regaining consciousness. Disneyland's investigation revealed that Mark had unbuckled his safety restraint, leading to his fatal fall. The incident was ruled accidental and did not result in any significant changes to the ride's safety protocols. Mark's death was a sobering moment for Disneyland, a reminder that even the most magical places are not immune to tragedy. His story serves as a cautionary tale about the importance of following safety rules and respecting the risks that come with thrill rides. While the Matterhorn bobsleds remains one of Disneyland's most iconic attractions, the memory of Mark Maples lingers as a haunting reminder of the park's first fatal accident. It was the beginning of a history that would see other tragedies, but his story is forever etched into the legacy of Disneyland. 2003. Marcelo Torres, a 22-year-old graphic designer and aspiring animator, tragically lost his life on Big Thunder Mountain Railroad at Disneyland on September 5, 2003. What began as a day filled with excitement and adventure ended in one of the most devastating incidents in the park's history, leaving a lasting shadow on what's often called the happiest place on Earth. Marcelo, an ambitious young man with dreams of creating art that would bring joy to others, was with his best friend and 2 out-of-state friends that day. They boarded the Big Thunder Mountain Railroad, a thrilling roller coaster designed to mimic a runaway mine train speeding through the Old West. The ride was known for its sharp twists, turns, and drops, making it a favorite among visitors. But on that fateful day, the ride's magic turned into a nightmare. Partway through the ride, a mechanical failure occurred. 2 bolts on the locomotive's left guide wheel assembly had come loose, causing the axle to jam into the railroad ties. The front locomotive nosedived, slamming into a tunnel roof. This impact caused the locomotive to detach from the passenger cars. Tragically, the lead passenger car, where Marcelo was seated, collided with the undercarriage of the locomotive. Marcelo suffered severe injuries and died instantly. 10 other passengers were injured, but none as gravely as Marcelo. The aftermath of the incident revealed unsettling details about what went wrong. Disneyland employees had reportedly heard clanking noises coming from the train at least 30 minutes before the crash. Despite this, the ride continued to operate for 12 more runs. On the 13th run, the catastrophic failure occurred. Investigators later determined that a mechanic had failed to properly tighten the bolts and attach a safety wire. A supervisor approved the ride without conducting a thorough inspection. This negligence led to serious questions about Disneyland's safety practices. Was the accident a result of budget cuts and rushed maintenance? Was the park prioritizing efficiency over safety? These questions haunted the park and its guests. Marcelo's parents, Jaime and Carmen Torres, were devastated by the loss of their son. They filed a lawsuit against Disney, which was settled in December 2005 for an undisclosed amount. As part of their efforts to honor Marcelo's life and passion for art, his family donated $500,000 of the settlement to fund scholarships for aspiring animators. The Big Thunder Mountain Railroad crash remains one of Disneyland's most tragic accidents. It serves as a painful reminder that even in a place built for magic and joy, strict attention to safety must always be a priority. For the Torres family, the memory of Marcelo lives on, both in their hearts and in the lives of young artists inspired by his story. Luan Phi Dawson, Sailing Ship Columbia, docking accident, 1998. Luan Phi Dawson's tragic death at Disneyland on Christmas Eve in 1998 is one of the most devastating accidents in the park's history. What started as a joyful holiday outing with his family turned into a nightmare that no one could have anticipated. Luan, a 33-year-old senior computer programmer for Microsoft, had traveled from Washington to Anaheim with his wife, Lou, and their son to celebrate Christmas at the happiest place on Earth. Little did they know, their lives were about to change forever. The family boarded the sailing ship Columbia, a popular attraction that takes visitors on a scenic journey along the rivers of America. It was a calm, festive day, and the Dawsons were looking forward to enjoying the ride. However, as the ship returned to dock, things went horribly wrong. The ship was moving too quickly, and an employee made a critical mistake. Instead of letting the ship come to a full stop, they attached the mooring line to a cleat on the dock, a metal fitting designed to secure ropes. The tension from the fast-moving ship caused the cleat to rip loose from the dock. Weighing about 8 pounds, the cleat became a deadly projectile, flying into the waiting crowd. Tragically, it struck Luan in the head and neck, causing catastrophic injuries. His wife was also hit, suffering facial injuries that left her partially paralyzed. The scene was chaotic, with park visitors and employees scrambling to help. Luan was rushed to the hospital, but he was pronounced brain dead and died 4 days later on December 28, 1998. The investigation that followed revealed several critical failures. Disneyland had been using nylon rope instead of the original hemp rope, which was less likely to snap under pressure. This cost-cutting decision, combined with a lack of proper training for employees, proved to be fatal. Adding to the controversy, Disneyland cleaned the accident site before investigators arrived, raising questions about their transparency. The Dawson family later filed a lawsuit against Disney, resulting in a settlement estimated at $25 million. The incident led to significant changes in park operations, including stricter training for employees and revised docking procedures. It also sparked discussions about the importance of safety regulations in theme parks. Luan's tragic death serves as a haunting reminder that even places designed for joy and magic can harbor unforeseen dangers. For his family, Christmas will forever be a painful memory of a life taken too soon. Brandon Zucker, Roger Rabbit Cartoon Spin, Ride Incident, 2000. On September 22, 2000, a horrifying accident at Disneyland turned what should have been a day of celebration into a lifelong tragedy for the Zucker family. 4-year-old Brandon Zucker, full of excitement and joy, boarded the Roger Rabbit's cartoon spin ride with his family. The day was special. It was his mother Victoria's 40th birthday, and a trip to the happiest place on Earth seemed like the perfect way to celebrate. But the day took a devastating turn that would change their lives forever. The Roger Rabbit's cartoon spin ride, with its whimsical spinning taxi cabs and vibrant colors, was designed to be a fun and family-friendly experience. That day, Brandon was seated in one of the ride's taxi cabs when disaster struck. As the ride spun and jolted, Brandon dropped something and instinctively leaned forward to pick it up. In doing so, he slipped beneath the lap bar and fell out of the moving ride. Horrifically, Brandon was pinned under another taxicab that rolled over him. His small body was folded in half, causing severe internal injuries. It took rescuers nearly 10 agonizing minutes to free him from the ride's mechanics. He was rushed to the hospital in critical condition, having suffered a torn diaphragm, liver, and spleen. The accident also caused him to go into cardiac arrest, leading to catastrophic brain damage. Brandon's life was changed forever. He was placed in a drug-induced coma for over a month and was left unable to walk, talk, or care for himself. For the next 8 years, his family endured the unimaginable pain of watching their once energetic little boy live with severe disabilities caused by the accident. The investigation revealed that Disneyland employees had failed to properly secure Brandon's lap bar before the ride began, which directly contributed to the accident. Following the incident, Disneyland implemented significant safety changes to prevent such tragedies from happening again. Doors were added to the ride vehicles, protective skirts were installed beneath the taxi cabs, and new emergency protocols were introduced, including better training for staff and quicker response times. In 2002, the Zucker family reached an undisclosed settlement with Disneyland, estimated to be between $20 million and $30 million. Despite these measures, the scars of the accident remained. On January 26, 2009, Brandon passed away at the age of 13 due to complications from his injuries. Brandon's story is a heartbreaking reminder that even in places designed for joy and magic, negligence can lead to unimaginable consequences. Disneyland's safety improvements came too late for Brandon, but his tragic story continues to serve as a cautionary tale. Falling Tree Incident. The falling tree incident at Disneyland is often overshadowed by more dramatic ride accidents, but it stands as a sobering reminder that even nature can pose serious dangers, even in the most controlled environments. This incident, which occurred in 1998, highlights how even something as seemingly harmless as a tree can lead to chaos and injuries when the unexpected strikes. On a bustling day in Frontierland, families, friends, and tourists were enjoying the area near the Golden Horseshoe Review and the rivers of America. The park felt alive with laughter and the sounds of joy that Disneyland is known for. However, lurking in the background was an older tree, part of the park's original landscape since it opened in 1955. No one could have guessed the trouble it was about to cause. At approximately 5:15 p.m., disaster struck. Without warning, the large tree toppled over, crashing onto a nearby food cart and startling guests in the area. Screams filled the air as people scrambled for safety. The tree's fall left a path of destruction in its wake, injuring 18 people, including 5 children. 2 Disneyland employees were also hurt in the accident, though thankfully, their injuries were minor. The scene was chaotic as paramedics and park workers rushed to help the injured guests. Most of the injuries were minor, like cuts and bruises, but the sheer shock of the incident left many shaken. Witnesses, including a group of visiting cheerleaders from Clinton High School, described the moment as terrifying. "At first, we thought it was part of a ride," one cheerleader said. "Then we saw people screaming and running." The cause of the accident was linked to high winds that had swept through the park the day before. The strong gusts likely weakened the tree's structure, though there had been no visible signs of damage. The tree's age, estimated to be over 40 years, may have also made it more vulnerable to the elements. Disneyland's response was swift. Frontierland was temporarily closed, and every tree in the park was inspected for potential safety risks. The incident also prompted Disneyland to enhance its emergency services, including stationing paramedics full-time within the park. Luckily, no one was seriously injured in the falling tree incident, but it served as a reminder that even in a place as meticulously designed as Disneyland, unexpected dangers can arise. For the park, it was a lesson in vigilance, ensuring that even natural elements like trees are carefully monitored to keep the magic alive and guests safe.